हिंदू राष्ट्राच्या दृष्टिकोनातून
हिंदू एकता दिंडीचं आयोजन करण्यात आलं.
हमें हिंदू बाहुल्य है.
हाँ, अभी भी है. Now when I talk about Goa, oh, if the Portuguese came and destroyed your temple, प्रतिकार क्यों नहीं किया आप लोगों ने? Today's Goan Christians are responsible for what happened in Goa.
Hindu gods and their idols are as dirty as they are ugly and horrible to look at. And witnessing the destruction of temple idols gives me so much joy. The person who said this was also the chief architect of the Goa Inquisition that led to the conversion, torture and murder of countless Hindus.
Hitler is a bad guy for the genocide of the Jews. Why is the Roman Catholic Church never held accountable for the aboriginal cultural and human genocide it committed all over the world?
हर गांव का अपना देवता होता है.
There's no such thing called a Dravid race if you have say 3 days in Goa to spare. जो चर्चेस थे उनके पहले यहाँ क्या था और गोवा के सारे जो मंदिर हैं वो भारत के पुरातन अन्य मंदिरों से इतने अलग क्यों दिखते हैं? So जब 3-4 जनरेशन का गैप जब बीच में हो जाता है तो वो टेक्नोलॉजी भी लुप्त होती है.
आज कोई गोवा जाना चाहे किन जगहों पे जाना हमें?
Start with a temple called
उत्तिष्ठ जागृत प्राप्य वरान्न बोध. अराइज, अवेक एंड स्ट्राइव फॉर नॉलेज. हम गोवा मौज मस्ती के लिए जाते हैं, घूमने के लिए जाते हैं, छुट्टियां बिताने के लिए जाते हैं और बीचेस और चर्चेस का आनंद लेते हैं. लेकिन हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस नो अबाउट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ गोवा, द हिंदू आइडेंटिटी ऑफ गोवा? हम में से कितने लोगों को पता है कि गोवा में बहुत प्राचीन मंदिर हैं? ये प्राचीन मंदिर कहाँ से आए? ये सभी प्राचीन मंदिर एक दूसरे के बहुत पास पास हैं. ऐसा क्यों है? गोवा इंक्विजिशन के बारे में आप में से कितने लोग जानते हैं? गोवा आज पोर्चुगीज आइडेंटिटी के लिए ज्यादा जाना जाता है. आज हमारे साथ जो जुड़ रही हैं वे एक ऐसी पर्सनालिटी हैं जिनका इंडियन हेरिटेज, कल्चर और हमारी हिस्ट्री को लेकर एक बहुत वोकल आउटलुक रहा है. वे समय समय पर गोवा के प्रति अपना प्रेम प्रकट करती हैं और लोगों को कंटिन्यूअसली जागरूक करने की कोशिश कर रही हैं गोवा की असल हिस्ट्री से. आज हमारे साथ हैं शेफाली वैद्य जी. आइए जानते हैं शेफाली जी का गोवा से क्या कनेक्शन है, गोवा की ऐसी क्या हिस्ट्री है जो हमें जानने की जरूरत है और आज और आने वाले समय का गोवा कैसा होना चाहिए. लेट्स डाइव राइट इनटू दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन विद शेफाली वैद्य जी. शेफाली जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है द इंडिक पेन पॉडकास्ट पर. एक बार फिर आज हम थोड़ा डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट पे बात करने के लिए मिल रहे हैं और वो है गोवा
जी.
जैसा कि मैंने अपने इंट्रोडक्शन में गोवा के बारे में कहा, पॉपुलर इमेजिनेशन में गोवा एक टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन है जहाँ हम बीचेस, चर्चेस, पोर्चुगीज आर्किटेक्चर के लिए जाते हैं, वहाँ के खान पान के लिए जाते हैं. इससे पहले मैं गोवा के बारे में और इन्फॉर्मेशन सीख करूँ, मैं ये जानना चाहूँगी योर कनेक्ट विद गोवा.
गोवा मेरी पैतृक भूमि है
जी.
मेरे न जाने कितने जनरेशन्स गोवा में पले बड़े हैं.
ओके.
मेरे मेरे दादाजी के भाई और मेरे पिताजी गोवा लिबरेशन मूवमेंट में सक्रिय सहभाग था उनका.
अच्छा.
मेरे पिताजी तो 10 साल तक ही वॉज अ आर्म्ड रिवोल्यूशनरी. ही वॉज अंडरग्राउंड फॉर 10 years. He had a warrant on him for many years, and there were 2 trials in absentia, and if he was caught then he would have been sent to Angola on Kalapani, kind of like Savarkar was sent to Andamans for a duration of 36 years, 18 plus 18.
Oh,
so
that's where you get
strong
your
is the
fighting spirit
connection.
from.
You
huh?
could say that, yes.
आप काफी मुखर रही हैं गोवा के कुछ ऐसे हिडन हिस्ट्रीज को लेकर जिसके बारे में ज्यादातर बातचीत नहीं होती.
जी.
बहुत कम लोग जानते हैं कि हिंदू जो गोवा का एक हिंदू आइडेंटिटी है वो काफी स्ट्रॉन्ग आइडेंटिटी रहा है.
जी.
थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में बात कीजिए, दैट व्हाट हैज बीन द हिंदू आइडेंटिटी ऑफ गोवा हिस्टोरिकली.
See, देखो उससे पहले लिपिका, I'll start with a story. So when I was a student in Goa University, I used to represent Goa University in a lot of competition outside Goa. And wherever I used to go in other universities, the minute they came to know that I was from Goa, my image in the eyes of the questioner changed. So I would get questions like, अरे आप तो गोवा की हैं, आप तो फेनी पीती होंगी, अरे आप तो गोवा की हैं, you must have had at least 3 boyfriends by now. See, there is nothing wrong in itself with drinking Feni or having 3 boyfriends, but this stereotyping that because I am from
From
Goa,
Goa, yeah.
that I should be drinking Feni morning, afternoon, and night, and
Mm.
because I am from Goa, I will be wearing Western outfits. Basically, my name would be Stephanie or Lisa or something like that.
Mm.
So that kind of stereotyping I really didn't like, and I
Mm.
had to explain every single time that my name is Shefali Vaidya. I am a Hindu. I haven't had Feni and I haven't had boyfriends. And I am a Hindu, and Goa is still a majority Hindu state. So which nobody would believe. But they said we see movies में तो देखते हैं ना, सब छोटे छोटे फ्रॉक्स पहन के दारू पी के गाना गाते हैं, गे 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 रे साहिबा. There is always a Braganza auntie in Hindi movies as a character. You never see a Goan Hindu character in Hindi movies.
Is it true?
Yeah.
गोवा में हिंदू बाहुल्य है?
हाँ, अभी भी है. Almost,
Oh.
yeah. Close to about
Imagine, I didn't know this.
close to about 67% of Goan population is
Wow.
Hindu even now,
Okay.
and there are historical reasons for it.
Hmm.
So if you look back at Goan history, the
Hmm.
Christianization or the evangelization of Goa
Hmm.
basically started under Portuguese rule, right?
Correct.
The Portuguese came to Goa in 1510
Hmm.
and they left Goa in 1961. So they are actually the longest colonial, the colonial power which has had a colony in India for the longest, 452 years.
Wow.
They were the first to arrive in Goa and they were last to leave India actually,
Hmm.
because they were the last colonial power to liberate Goa, and then Goa became a part of Bharat. But when they came initially, they had only basically 3 districts of Goa under them for almost 150 years. They had the islands of Goa
Hmm.
and the islands of Chorao, and
Hmm.
they had the districts of Tiswadi, Bardes, and Salsette.
Hmm.
So even today in Goa's geography, these 5 areas are known as the old conquistas or old Kabizadis, and the rest of Goa that you see in today's Goa map is known as the new Kabizadis.
अच्छा.
So maximum evangelization and maximum repression and maximum forced conversions happened in the first 150 to 200 years of Portuguese rule.
Okay.
So even today, if you see coastal Goa, which is where the area of Salsette Taluka, the place where I come from, coastal Goa, you will see that demographic is very heavily Christian,
Hmm.
whereas in the interiors, it is still mostly Hindu. Because those areas were won over by the Portuguese after almost 200 years, and by that time, even their evangelical zeal, 200 years is a long time, had abated a bit, and they did not do as much of evangelization or as much of forced conversions that they did initially.
Hmm.
Now when I talk about Goa and I state this fact that Goa is still a majority Hindu state, there are some idiots who ask me, but if the Portuguese were so powerful, why is Goa still a Hindu majority state? But if you say that they converted so many Hindus to Christianity, why are there Hindus in Goa at all? They don't understand history, they don't understand geography, they don't understand anything.
Hmm.
Goa is still majority Hindu because it was won over in phases. The first phase was the one that bore the most brunt of religious conversion and religious persecution.
Right.
The areas that were won over later, they still remain largely Hindu, and that is what you see in today's Goa.
Also, it talks about the Hindus' fighting spirit and resilience.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
To fight back.
Yes. So that is another question that I am asked. So if the Portuguese came and destroyed your temple, how could you just let that happen?
Hmm.
Why was there no pratikar? Pratikar क्यों नहीं किया? आप लोगों ने किया ना?
प्रतिकार है तभी आज के देश में भी 67%
एग्जैक्टली प्रतिकार है, इसीलिए तो जो सारे मंदिर जो पोर्चुगीज टेरिटरीज में थे, जो उन्होंने लीगली एडिक्ट बना के पोर्चुगाल के राजा ने डिस्ट्रॉय करवाए, और ये भी फोर्स किया वहाँ की हिंदू जनता को कि उनके टेम्पल्स अगर गिरते हैं तो उनको वही टेम्पल वापस बनाने का अधिकार नहीं है लीगली. So the temples were destroyed, but the Hindus actually managed to save their deities. They transported them across the river to a place called Pondamal, which is where you find most of the Hindu temples of Goa today, in close proximity of each other. But they were not always there. These were all deities from different villages on the coast, along the rivers. But because their original temples were destroyed, and in many places churches were built, for example, the temple of Mangesh, which is now at Mangeshi, the original temple was at a place called Kortalim, where the Kortalim church exists now. So this is a story of every big temple in Goa, and this is a story of every Goan. See, again, let me tell you, Lipika, I have never said that today's Goan Christians are responsible for what happened in Goa. It's not their fault. In fact, they are as much victims of this persecution as I am.
Of course.
Only my ancestors, who used to live in a village, double village called Verna in Nagoa, where there was a temple of Mahalsa Narayani, and when the temple was destroyed, and when the Portuguese basically forced them to either convert or to leave or to get killed, my ancestors chose the option of leaving. So they left their land, they left their property, they left everything, but their dharma was important to them. So they just held on to it, and they started life in our current village, which is at that point of time under a Hindu ruler. That is the story. But there were some people, for them probably land was their identity. Remember, we're talking about 17th century or 16th century Goa, where your land is your identity. You're known by how much land you have. Your social status is dependent on the land. आपकी जमीन ही आपका सब कुछ है. तो तब हो सकता है कि उनको ऐसा लगा होगा कि मेरे जमीन से, मेरे गांव से मुझे प्यार है, मैं नहीं छोड़ के जा सकता. We don't know what is the situation. Maybe they got converted out of coercion. Maybe they got converted out of conviction. I don't know. But the point is, there were a lot of people who took that choice, who took the easy option to get converted, but overwhelming majority did not. They moved out. But the descendants of those people are also victims as much as I am a victim. It's just the perspective differs, no? If my ancestors had made that choice, I wouldn't be here, because then he would be somebody else. He would have married somebody else. Then that line would have been, that story would have been very, very different.
Quite like the rest of the India. जैसे कि बाकी भारत में कहीं पे इस्लामिस्ट आक्रमणताओं की वजह से
The model was the same.
आपने एक इम्पोर्टेंट बात जो बीच में की, वो थी हर गांव का अपना डेटी होता था, देवता होता था. मैं उत्तराखंड से हूँ, हमारे भी गांव के अपने ग्राम देवता हैं, कुल देवता हैं, कुल देवी हैं. और आई थिंक नॉर्थ से साउथ तक अगर हम अपनी हिस्ट्री उठाएं तो जैसा आप कह रही हैं, हर छोटे क्लस्टर का अपना एक कुल देवी, कुल देवता होता था. आज जब हम उसको परिभाषित करने की कोशिश करते हैं तो देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ कंट्रोवर्सी ड्रॉन आउट ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट ये सनातन या हिंदू नहीं थे. ये जो है इनका अपना एक कल्चर था, आप इस पे अपना हिंदुत्व इम्पोज कर रहे हो.
नहीं, ये तो वही वो फ्रॉड आर्यन इन्वेजन थियरी से आया ना, कि आर्यन आए पहले, तो यहाँ पे मोहनजोदारो हड़प्पा के द्रविड़ लोग थे, फिर आर्यन आए, फिर आर्यन लोगों ने अपने देवता इन पे इम्पोज कर दिए, और उनके देवता हैं जिनको चबा लिया और उनको इंटीग्रेट कर लिया, एंड दैट इज हाउ दे आर ट्राइंग टू सी there is no such thing called a Dravid race, Lipika. Dravid simply means, it's a geographical term. Drava means liquid. So the peninsular India, which is surrounded by liquid on all sides, that is the Dravida Peninsula. Whoever lives in that peninsula is a Dravid.
So there's no race,
nothing to do with the race. और वो जो स्टेलिन चिक चिक के चिल्ला रहे हैं ना, द्रविडिज्म, ऐसा कोई रेस है ही नहीं.
करेक्ट.
तो अगर आप शब्द की एटाइमोलॉजी भी देखें, आप शब्द का जो उत्पत्ति कहाँ से आया वहां से भी देखें, तो वहीं से आपकी थियोरी फॉल्सिफाई होती है. सिंधु सरस्वती सिविलाइजेशन में भी हम तो मातृ देवता की पूजा करते ही थे, हम तो शिव जी की पूजा करते ही थे. वही संस्कृति जो भारत में हर जगह पे आपको दिखेगी, तो आपको कहीं पे भी आपको वही दिखेंगे, वही क्षेत्रपाल दिखेंगे, उनके नाम भी वही होंगे. मैंने समटाइम पहले एक पेपर पढ़ा था अबाउट द 7 सिस्टर गॉडेसेस. तो ये 7 सिस्टर गॉडेसेस की जो कहानी है, वो हर क्षेत्र में उनका नाम अलग होता है, लेकिन वो होती 7 ही बहनें हैं और उनका एक भाई होता है. Now that story is actually based on the 7 Kritikas and the cluster, the star cluster Kritika, and that is the story. And these are the Saptamatrikas who are supposed to have raised Kartikeya. तो हर एक स्टेट के उनके अलग नाम है, उनका एक भाई होता है. That भाई is the Kshetrapala, he is the Veerabhadra. It's always that. The other stories are, जो वहाँ के लोगों का इमेजिनेशन है, वहाँ का जो लोकाचार है, वहाँ की जो ज्योग्राफी है,
फोकलोर में जो इंक्लूड
किया है. बट अगर आप उसको सबको हटाएं, then you will see that it is all basically it's the same story.
Before we move ahead, just a small reminder to hit the subscribe button.
तो अगर आज कोई गोवा जाना चाहे, बियॉन्ड द रेगुलर टूरिस्ट स्पॉट्स, आप क्या सजेस्ट करती हैं जो गोवा के बारे में हमें जानना ज़रूरी है, और किन जगहों पे जाना हमें चाहिए?
देखिए, गोवा में जो लोग जाते हैं वो मेनली, और वो गोवा टूरिज्म की भी गलती है,
हाँ,
क्योंकि बहुत सालों से उन्होंने गोवा की इमेज जानबूझ के फन एंड फेनी ऐसे ही की थी, और सिर्फ अपने बीचेस और गोवा के जो ऑफिशियल टूर थे वो भी आपको गोवा गवर्नमेंट के, गोवा टूरिज्म के कुछ साल पहले तक वो आपको केवल ओल्ड गोवा के चर्चेस दिखाते थे और टोकन एक मंदिर दिखाते थे, मंगेशी या मारदौड़। बाकी की हिस्ट्री कुछ बताते ही नहीं थे, और बाकी तो क्रूज और बीच और वोट, उसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है, बीच देखने ही चाहिए, बहुत सुंदर है, मैं भी जाती हूँ, मेरा तो घर है। चर्चेस भी देखने चाहिए, देखने के लिए कि क्या था पहले, क्या हुआ, लेकिन उससे पहले क्या था उसके बारे में सवाल तो पूछो कि कहाँ से आए चर्चेस, जो चर्चेस थे उनके पहले यहाँ क्या था। और गोवा के सारे जो मंदिर हैं वो भारत के पुरातन अन्य मंदिरों से इतने अलग क्यों दिखते हैं, बेसिक क्वेश्चन है। अगर आप गोवा का कोई भी मंदिर देखें, फर्स्ट ग्लांस में आपको पता चल जाएगा कि यहाँ का आर्किटेक्चर जो है वो भारत के जो ट्रेडिशनल मंदिर, ये शब्द उच्चारने के बाद द इमेज दैट वी गेट, दिस आर ऑफ अ टॉल शिखरा, अ स्टोन टेम्पल, वेदर इट इज द्रविडियन टेम्पल और नागर टेम्पल, वैसे गोवा के टेम्पल्स नहीं है, वहां तो शिखर भी नहीं है, वहां तो ऑक्टागोनल डोम होता है ऊपर।
अच्छा,
तो वो क्यों है ऐसा? एनी क्यूरियस पर्सन विल हैव दैट question in mind कि why is this looking so different,
ऐसा क्यों है?
there is a reason why, because जब पोर्चुगीज आए थे तब गोवा के टेम्पल्स ट्रेडिशनल ही थे,
अच्छा,
जो द्रविडियन या
की तरह।
उसका एक एग्जांपल गोवा में अभी भी है, इट्स अ प्लेस कॉल्ड तांबी सुरला, which is the only pre-Portuguese, one of the 2 or 3 pre-Portuguese era temples which has survived intact because it was hidden deep in a jungle. It is built in the Kalyani Chalukya style that so many other temples in Karnataka or in Maharashtra are built, you know, the black stone, basalt stone में बनाया हुआ। गोवा में भी पहले मंदिर ऐसे ही बनते थे, लेटराइट स्टोन में बनते थे या वोल्केनिक बेसाल्ट में बनते थे या वुड में बनते थे, क्योंकि गोवा में वुड बहुत भारी मात्रा में मिलता था, इट इज अ वेरी कोस्टल, वेरी ट्रॉपिकल रीजन, राइट, सो वुड तो आराम से मिलता था, तो वुडन टेम्पल्स बहुत थे। तो ये सारे टेम्पल्स जब डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए और उनकी मूर्तियां जब दूसरी जगह पे हटाई गई, तो जो लोग वो मूर्तियां वहां से उठा के लेके जाने वाले थे वो तो फाइट कर रहे थे ना, अपने अस्तित्व के लिए झगड़ा कर रहे थे, उनके पास पैसा नहीं था कि बड़ा मंदिर बना, so they housed those murtis in temporary huts for almost 150 years, जब तक उनके पास पावर नहीं था। so how the situation changed was that for almost 150 years those murtis were housed in temporary structures, जहाँ पे उनकी पूजा सब होता था, उपचार सब होते थे, बट बड़े बड़े मंदिर थे नहीं तब। उसके बाद जब मराठास जब पावरफुल हो गए तो lot of educated people from Goa, they started leaving Goa and they started becoming occupying positions of power in the Maratha court. They either became dubhashis, as in they became translators, or they became actually warriors, or they became advisors of the kings or the Peshwas, or even in Gwalior or even in Indore. So they had political power, they had money, and the first thing they did was they bought land in their village in Goa, and they rebuilt their Gramadevata temples, their Kuladevata temples, and in between this, in these 150 years, architecture had moved on, because most of the knowledge was transferred father to son, right? So when there was a clear break of 150 years, ऐसा तो नहीं कि architecture colleges में पढ़ के एक curriculum था, ऐसा तो नहीं है ना,
it was a skill passed
it
on
was a
over
skill passed on
generations,
generation to generation. So जब 3-4 जनरेशन का गैप जब बीच में हो जाता है तो वो टेक्नोलॉजी भी लुप्त होती है, तब वो पॉसिबल नहीं था, तो it was not possible to get shilpis from outside to build these traditional temples. So they wanted to build temples. By that time churches had come to Goa, so they had seen that architecture, they had seen the domes, they had seen the importance of a whole rectangular sabha mandap which is really long and which is, you know, full of light. So वो सारे elements तो उन्होंने देखे हुए थे, but their civilizational memory remembered that a temple should have some things, like a temple should have a garbhagriha, it should have a shikhara, it should have a sabha mandap, it should have a pushkarini, it should have a padakshina path, it should have a antarala. So all those terms they remembered, all those
but the
vocabulary, style of architecture they had forgotten. So they recreated that using the architectural influences that they had seen in those 150 years. So even today if you see, every Goan temple will have all the traditional elements of temple architecture. It will have a temple pushkarini, it will have a pradakshina path, it will have a sabha mandap, it will have a antarala, that is the space between the sabha mandap and the garbhagriha. It will have a garbhagriha, it will have the shikhara, which is a domical shikhara in Goan temples, but it is built in a different way. That is because there was a major disruption.
So coming back to the question, what do you suggest? Where should
I would
people-
say if you have say 3 days in Goa to spare, so start with a temple called Tamdi Surla temple, which is deep in the jungle, which is the only intact surviving pre-Portuguese era temple,
Okay.
which is made from basalt stone. It's a beautiful place. Start from there. That will give you an idea of what pre-Portuguese era temples used to be like. Then if you want to see another temple which was built in laterite, there's a place in Khandepar. There is a Saptakoteshwar temple there, which is right on the banks of the Khandepar river. That is also built in the traditional pre-Portuguese style, but it's built out of laterite stone.
Okay.
So that is one temple that people can see. After that, they should see in the Ponda Mahal, they should see at least Mahalsa temple, Shantadurga temple of Kaule, Mangeshi if possible, and another temple called Narsimha temple in Veling. Then there is a very beautiful temple in Savaivere of Ananta. That's the only Ananta Shayana Sri Vishnu in Goa. And the temple is in water. As in, the Garbhagriha is actually surrounded by water. It's a very unique temple in a very beautiful place. So that is something that they should see. Then in South Goa, they should go to Verna and they should see the newly built, reclaimed Malsa Narayani temple at the original place where the Malsa Narayani temple used to be. So Malsa Narayani actually has 2 temples in Goa now. One is where the Murti was shifted, that is Mardod. And one is the traditional Kshetra where there is a new temple.
Okay.
Both of these temples you should see to get the full history. And then you should go down south and see the temple, the Gramadevata of my village, Shantadurga Kunkalli Karim, which you should see because it is a symbol of resistance and it is a unique symbol of Hindu-Christian unity, because the people of my village who converted to Christianity also remember and are proud of their ancestry. And every year when there is a festival, when the goddess is brought in a procession to our village, everybody participates in that festival,
Acha.
Hindus and Christians. So that is the one temple that you should see. And then deep south there is a temple of Shiva called Mallikarjun temple. That is also a must see. So these are a few things that I would advise everybody who visits Goa to see. Then you should see the Hatkatro Kham, the famous Hatkatro Kham. That is the pillar to which people who were burnt alive were tied in public ceremonies called Autodafe. So that, and the museum at Old Goa.
Acha.
That museum has so many murtis which I have found in different places, in different excavations, which will very clearly tell you that before the Portuguese came, there was a thriving, surviving Hindu civilization which had excelled in Murti Shastra and in temple building a lot.
Well, there's a lot to absorb from what you just told us. But thank you so much, Shefali. I think this should have been a longer conversation, but because we know that the time is limited with you today, I would like to thank you for making this time and joining us here at the Indic Pen. I look forward to having a conversation again in detail, maybe with Goa as the backdrop, on Goa sometime
Definitely,
soon.
definitely. It would be my pleasure. Thanks a lot, Lipika, and I really enjoyed having this conversation.
हर सभ्यता की अपनी कहानियाँ होती हैं जिन्हें याद रखना ज़रूरी है। अगर आप भी भारतीय दृष्टिकोण से इन कथाओं का हिस्सा बनना चाहते हैं तो अभी इस पॉडकास्ट को सब्सक्राइब करें और उन दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करें जो हमारी धरोहर को महत्व देते हैं।